All right, thanks for joining the channel or stopping by to have a look. Um, so what I want to do today again is go through a um, tool that I find very helpful for me, and I'm hoping it's maybe going to be helpful for newer players or players that aren't that familiar with the game. This tool is free. There's other tools. I'm not saying this is the best tool, but I usually do have good luck with it. I usually keep a laptop beside me when I'm playing on my desktop in case I need to find out anything about it. So what I use it for in the game is um, doesn't matter. You'll probably be aware that your stash size is tied to what level of the game you buy. If you buy the EOD, what is it, Edge of Darkness version, you get the maximum stash size. I mean, that's where you can store all your gear. If you buy the first level game, you get a smaller stash, which you can expand in the hideout. But early game, you have a small stash. And I don't care what version of the game you buy, you will at some point get to the point where you have no space left in your stash and you have to make a decision on what you're going to do. What do I sell? What do I keep? That's where I use this. I use it by going in and looking up some item in my stash and deciding whether I need to use it. So, for example, there is a statue of a horse. So let's say I've managed to find 10 of them. I look here and I will look it up here before I decide whether to keep. And really, it's how many to keep. So here are the horse figurines, description, blah, 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 tells you what it is. The important part is two need to be found in raid for the quest. Living high is not a crime. That's a ragman task. So that means you need two. And they have to have the little check mark on them. If you find something in raid, it has a little check mark. If you find it that somebody has brought it in, or if you put this item in your secure container and you die, you lose the check mark, which means you can't sell it on the flea market and you can't use it for in raid tasks. Um, be sure when you're doing a task and it's telling you I need X of these, X of that, look to make sure whether it's in raid items, or if it's not, then you can simply buy them off the flea market, buy them off somebody else. And there you see the hideout also needs one to ramp the library up, but it doesn't say in raid. So if you needed to update the library in the hideout, you could go to the flea market and buy the horse and use it. But ultimately, if I have 10 in my stock, I would go, okay, I need to keep 3 just for tasks and the hideout. Here is where I can find them typically. And then the other thing that's interesting about this is, okay, um, I have only need 3 for my tasks. I have 10. I could sell them, or they are part of barter items with these traders. So if you need to get something or want to get something out of here, it will tell you how many of those statues. So that also helps you determine whether you're going to keep it or whether you're going to get rid of it. So, for example, the docks case, it's a case that you can carry with you, and it only takes up 2 spaces in your secure container, but it has like 16 spots, so you can put a lot of money, coins, keys in it. So a lot of people want that. So if I had 10 of the horses, I need 3 for 2 for a task, 1 for the hideout, and I would keep another 4 to buy a docks case, and so that's 7. I could sell 3 of them, and that's how it works. Again, bronze statue, trade item for this. However, you need it for a task, and cats. So that is what I use it for constantly. If I running out of space, getting low on space, or just simply want to clean up my stash. I said space stash. I'll go and look here to see what value or whether I should keep it or whether I should get rid of it. And I'll do another one here, which is a lion, and I spelt it wrong, so that doesn't help. So bronze lion again. Once again, there's a picture of what it looks like. If I had one in my stash, okay, what am I going to do with it? Well, I need 2 found in raid for this same task as the horses. So I need to keep 2. I need 3 for scav case in the hideout. So that is the expansion of your stash. Um, no, sorry, that is the scav cases. There you can send the scavs off, and they'll go bring you back a random assortment of stuff. So the scav case needs 3 of them. So that means you need minimum of 5. Here's the locations of where you can potentially find them. And again, if you need certain things, you can see that these items will trade for this. So if I pull that up, again, you can click on virtually anything in here to find it out. Here's your body armor. Here's a description of it. You can't sell it on the market. Again, that's something. And you need one for hot delivery. So you would need to get one of these. It takes 3 bronze lions, unfortunately. So either you buy it or it's not available on the flea. So you'd either have to buy it. You can't craft it. You'd have to buy it via trade with Ragman. So you'd need 3 of these bronze lions. So you could probably buy the bronze lions off the because they're allowed on the market. You could buy 3 of them off the market. It will be very expensive, and you could get your armor that way. Okay, so that is one of the things that this Tarkov Wiki is really important for, which is determining what stuff you should keep and what stuff you should sell. Again, it doesn't always get updated. It can, if battle state makes a change to the game, it sometimes trails by 2 or 3 weeks before somebody comes around and fixes it. What else can you do with this tool? Well, you see here, this is a task. So if you are in the character, you look, there's a task that you could do, you accept it. It does tell you typically in your little window when you accept it what you need, but you can get more information here about what needs to be done. So let's say I unlock this task. Living high is not a crime. You'll see that it's Ragman. Yeah, it's needed for the Kappa. I've never in my life been able to get Kappa. Previous was So It Good Part 3, so that typically is blocking this task. So until you get this one fixed, it will not allow you to, not fixed, completed. It won't allow you to do this task, and here's the one that's going to be next. So this is good. Here's the same stuff that you would see on your character. It does point out that you would have to be level 27. So if you went to Ragman, you would see this task. You'd just see the name of it, and it would say locked. Well, now you know what level you have to get to be able to access it. And here's all the requirements. So there you have all the requirements to be able to complete this task. And of course, you can basically click on any of these items to get more details about them. Note, some of them will say like this: you can only have 5 in your stash at one time. So you'll have to sell some if you go above that. And again, here's the task that these are required for. Bullshit is another task. So, and here's where you can find them in the game. Also, it even gives you the rooms that you can find them in. And of course, here's what items they can lead to if you want to work with a trader. So if you get one of these and one of the gold coins, you can get this fully modded PP19 from Mechanic, and that's what it is. So that is the other thing that I like to do with this, or why I use this, is again, you have a bunch of these. You have to decide whether to keep them or sell them. Well, you can look up where you need them and how many you would need them, and then you can see where they are in the game for trades, or where they can be from the trades. And of course, you can also click on this gun and find out more about it. And you can see here, if you click on, again, this gun, if you go on the various parts. So what this is telling you about this gun is these are all the silencers. It that can be used, or muzzle devices. These are all the pistol grips that can be used on this gun. So it tells you all kinds of information. Then you can drill down and you can look at an individual part and it will tell you what it does, how good it is. And again, it's just the amount of information in this thing is amazing. And that's why I recommend it. This is what you need to trade for it. So that is what. So you can even find just a dumb definition of what a submachine gun is. But again, Gunsmith Part 3, it's what you get for completing Gunsmith Part 3. They give you one of these. So that's again, that's a task. You get it from the mechanic. You look it up here. You just type in the search bar Gunsmith Part 3. It brings it up. Requirements: you got to be level 12. You got to modify an MP5 based on what it tells you when you accept the task. And here's everything you're going to get when you complete that task. So this XP, rep, increase, money, and the money you get will depend on how far your intelligence center is up, and one of these guns. So again, that is one of the things that I like about this in this particular tool. It tells you the value of items. It tells you what you need to mod certain things. It will explain to you the tasks. It even tell you what the quests are. So it gives you this chart here, which I find, now this can be out of date very quickly, but this is another effective, and that was just under quests. So if you go type in quests, so you're not sure where you're going, what you're going to do, you go here. And for each trader, it tells you, again, this will need to be updated after the upcoming wipe, but it tells you what you need for each individual trader. So you could print this off and keep it near you or something like that, but you're going to need for the therapist 3 of these, 4 of these, 15 of those, 4 of those. That's what it's telling you. These keys will be needed to do stuff that she wants you to do for tasks, but that's it. So this is, how valuable is that? It's showing you what you're going to need. Kappa is basically the only task you really do for fence, and it gives you this gives you a bigger case. These are all the vanity items from all the big streamers. So this one is like from Dr. Disrespect. You know, that was created just for him. I see there's Noise Guy. He's another good streamer. It gives you details. So these items were created specifically for people. All right. So that is why this thing is so valuable. I mean, where I've had um, in the game, I can't tell you how many times I have had an item like this in the game and go, well, what do I need that for? And so, yeah, it's safe to sell, right? Well, I need one in game for the collector, which gets you the kappa. That was that final task. But I find out later, after I've sold this, and I had one of these and sold it, that I could have got this plate carrier, but for one of each. And this is so I'm going to the description of the plate carrier, and it is a level 6. The highest level, the level I told you is in a previous video that is not often seen. I could have traded for those stupid toys, and this is a constant thing. I don't know how many times, again, that I have had items in my stock and I've sold them only to find out that I should have kept them. So that's why this is so valuable to me. And then sort of another thing about it is the maps. So you can go for the map of Tarkov, which just brings you the overview of everything. These are all the maps. What you're going to see shortly is streets will get unlocked. There's 2 parts of streets. We're going to get the first part of it. So you can see it's locked now. It's going to be nothing here that's really worthwhile looking at. I just meant to do it. You can actually, though, you can see it changing to a hand. So if you go to type in map of Tarkov, and you can find out customs. So here's the map of customs. Not sure what to do on customs? Type in customs in the search bar, and now it's going to tell you about the customs map that you go into. 40 minutes is the duration of most of the maps. Now, right now, this is previous and factory. That goes back to this map here. They're sort of tied together. Um, that'll make more sense actually coming up in the game, later on in the game. But right now, you can kind of ignore that. And uh, yeah, it's something that's going to be more important later in the game, going from one map to the other. It tells you here the player count. So there can be between 9 and 12 live players, PMCs, people like you on this map. No more. So that's kind of helpful. And then this is what you're going to find on this map. Scavs, regular. One boss, Reshala, with 3 bodyguards that you have to go through to get to him. The 3-man squad of Knight, Big Pipe, and Bird Eye, who are bosses and really hard to kill. Knight is a sniper. You almost never see him. You just die to him. And then obviously cultists. Cultists typically appear at night. They're sort of enhanced scavs. They have a knife that if they stab you with is poisoned and it can really screw up your health. Anyways, so there's, this is what this is good for. It gives you a general description of the map. Tells you there's dorms, there's new gas station, military checkpoint, the stronghold, etc., and border snipers. So there's a place in the game near the edges of the map that if you happen to get close to them, you just auto dead. You never see them. They just bang, you're dead. So you got to be careful to stay away from here. Here's the description, a bit more from those cultist bird I remember I was just talking about. It tells you what you can get if you kill him. This is needed for a task, so that he's important. And followers, he can have 4. I thought it was 3, but you can have 4 bodyguards you have to kill to get to him. And then these guys just hang around, and these guys are in squads of, that's priest. There's 4 bodyguards, basically. If you want to see what his special item is, there's a cultist knife, and you can get a description of it. You do need 12 of them for these knives for a particular task. So you get this poison effect. So there's your description. So, and again, this is why this tool is so great. In that you start new in the game, you don't know much about customs, you don't understand much about customs. Well, here, type it in the wiki. It's showing you everything, and here even you're seeing little pictures here. So these are the extractions. Don't know where the extractions are on this map? Guess what? Here is a list of them, and here is a nice little picture so you can get used to it. There you go. There's what you need. Crossroads. Crossroads? What's Crossroads? Well, you'll recognize this area when you run into it. But there it has a listed. This column is telling you whether you can use it. All means when you're playing as a player or when you're doing a scav run. So this one is only available to scavs. This one is only available to PMCs. So you can't use it. But again, you have to actually get into this truck, and it requires some cash to be paid out to get on that truck. And that's why it says here you need 5,000 rubles. So if you were like, well, what's it gonna this exit on dorm? I have to get on a car. What do I do? Well, guess what? It'll only support one person using it, that or a team. Basically, you can only use it as your PMC. It is not always available, so you have to look when you first start your raid to see if it's listed. Sometimes you'll see it listed with a question mark, and you'll only find out if you get there and it comes up and says, give me money, kind of thing. And the other thing is it tells you that by paying the $5,000 and using the car to get out, it actually increases your scav karma, which is helps you with defense. So there again, wow, what information. For a new player and you don't understand You don't understand where to go, what to do. Why wouldn't you use this tool? Why wouldn't you keep it up? You got an example of all the different, where you need to go and what do you need to do. Yeah, it's great. Here's one here, great ZB13. It's particular gate, whatever. Oh, by the way, you have to have this key. It consumes one use, and you have to go into this building in the warehouse and turn on that thing. So I think you would agree with me that you can see, oh, just went to Canadian Tire, how beneficial this tool is to playing the game. And oh my God, here is a map. Again, you want to cut and paste it, you want to leave it open, you want to print it out, but here's your map of customs. You typically, it will come in and it tells you here, based on what you have, you can deselect things and go down to like show only one thing. Um, so you can see that there is, so what's this? This is a little character in green. That's an extract. You go to the character in yellow. That's actually a scav extract. But it's showing you where the bags are, where you're going to run into some players. You see the skull. This is where the bosses can spawn. And, there's where a suitcase is. There's where um, a cache. And it even shows you a little picture of the cache. Like, this this is an incredible tool for people to use. And there should be one of these for each one of the maps. Let's go on to Lighthouse and see. So again, we have Lighthouse. In this case, it's showing you the keys that will do something on this map. Good to know. Here again are these three guys. They can be on this map. Here are all your extracts. Again, this one requires money. This one requires you have to do something to get into this side tunnel. And this one you have to have player and a scav. So you got to convince somebody to play with you without shooting you. And once again, here's a map. I can click on it. Great. There's the extract points. Very helpful. You zoom in some more, you can start seeing some of the other characters. You can only go so far on this map, which is unfortunate, but you can look for particular things here. Let's move it up. Yeah, that's about as far as I can go. You kind of have to know what these symbols mean. But there's like a red, orange dot. So if I go to orange dot, what's that? Supply box. So there you've got the locations of important loot that you need to go to. You got the extraction points here. You got the location of what's big X mean? The boss. So the boss can be here. You got you got everything you need. So again, for the third time, I hate you probably hate me repeating it. I hate repeating it, but this tool is absolutely important. You should have this available to you when you're playing. It tells you what to keep, what to get rid of, what you need, who you need to be aware of. Again, we go back like Lighthouse, Scavs, Rogues, Knight, Big Pipe, Bird Eye, 9 to 12 players, leads the shoreline, comes from town. Well, town is not actually open at this point, so the kind of future raids are 40 minutes in length. I don't know what else you would need, but yeah. So I highly recommend this tool. Sorry if this is a little bit disjointed in um, the nature of it, because I'm just sort of excited to show this to people. But so again, here's a plate carrier that you could get off him if you manage to kill it. All this kind of information. So you can find out about guns. You can find out about armor. You can find out about helmets, their value or whatever. You can find out about what a particular so helmet. There's a helmet. Everything you need to know about the helmet is right here. And here's what you can put on it, the face shield. And here's how you can get a face shield by trading with this trader. Everything is that you need is here. So I'm going to draw it to an end. I hope this has been of some value to you. The main point of it is that using the Tarkov Wiki especially for a brand new player or a player that has not played that long, has so much information to help you with the game. You can go on to streams and ask questions. You can go into Discord and ask questions. When that's not available to you, this is the tool to go with. All right. So thanks for stopping by.